Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So quite a bit to talk about here. Obviously San Diego Comic-Con effectively starts today, kind of preview night, and then officially starts tomorrow. So there will be news coming out and we'll kind of recap kind of what to expect here. But there has been some other stuff. So obviously most notably The Legacy of Yangchen is now out now. I put up some chapter analysis videos yesterday, so that's why I didn't have a video to properly kind of go along with the release of the book. But know that it is available, of course, as a hardcover, ebook, and audiobook. I know a lot of people tend to forget about the audiobook, that it exists, but it is out there as a digital option if you so wish. Now, I think everyone in my audience probably knows that the book is out, but you know, always nice to do a bit of a recap. What may not be so well known is this. So coming out October 17th, I have covered this before, but not that often. 4-book box set, so the 2 Kyoshi books and the 2 Yangchen books together with a new poster here, is coming out October 17th. So I don't think this is a set worth double dipping on. If you already have the books, I won't be getting it. But if you are just starting out or need physical copies, this is probably the ideal way to get it. The poster definitely I don't think is worth just grabbing this for. Other than that, as I said, I am doing my big kind of content block for Legacy of Yangchen. I have my reviews out and I'm now doing my chapter analysis video. So I just released the chapter 5 analysis earlier on today, and they will be continuing for obviously quite a few weeks because there's a lot of chapters to get through. But again, the expectation is that it shouldn't take a crazy, I'm not expecting it to be a super long running series. It will just take time to do that many videos, of course. So that out of the way, let's get into some news. So announced yesterday, alongside the release of kind of the Yangchen book, was this. So Diamond Select have revealed the new diorama. So we know the Toph is coming. That was the big kind of like, finally they announced the next one. And we've known for a while that they said they have multiple more kind of in the design process. And now we know the 5th one here is going to be Uncle Iroh. So this is obviously Iroh towards the end of book 2. This is very much like Iroh when he is kind of facing off against the Dai Li, that sort of idea here. So very kind of cool here. And I think it looks very good. Like it says here, Q1 2024. So that's fine. They're creating a couple of months separation between Toph and Iroh. Makes sense. They are kind of on the more budget end of statues, but they look really nice for kind of their price. But you still need to separate them, of course, so that makes sense. Usual thing, I think, with these where like the face is maybe not absolutely perfect, but it is very good when, you know, factored in together with the whole package here, which is an incredible pose, incredible kind of like effect kind of parts all over it, and the pretty good price as well. So the detail is fantastic on these figures. Like, look at that. The base here is really nice, just the kind of rocky base, Iroh standing on the stone, the fire kind of coming up in and around it, up around him, and then the really strong, as usual, Iroh kind of fire punch is a very strong look here. We get a more head-on shot here, shot from the back here to get a better sense of the fire effect here on the punch. It's very nice. And then the side shot here, also very good. So a really nice way of doing the kind of classic Iroh fire punch, which just has a lot of strength to it. So interesting there. The character selection is obviously probably where some of the discussion is going to be on this. So they did the initial obvious 4 characters to cover each of the 4 elements. And then instead of doing Sokka, who I think would have made the most sense to be the 5th one, they have all gone back around to another Bender. Now, fan favorite character, of course. I think they could have got the exact same effect by doing Azula. Both of them will be just as popular, and I think sell just as well. But it is interesting that they have skipped over the non-Bender character, Sokka. I wonder, are they still trying to figure out what way to do the kind of fancy base to maybe justify the same price point with Sokka when he can't do all this bending stuff? But we'll see. I think eventually they probably should get around to Sokka, so we have more of a complete Team Avatar set. I'd like to see see Sokka, I'd like to see Suki, and then after Iroh, you know, after that, I'd like to see Mei and Ty Lee and Azula also kind of come out as well. And I think that covers like most of your main cast, and then maybe you can start to do some of the more kind of obscure characters. Maybe that's when you maybe open the door to doing like going down the Korra path. Maybe you can do some past avatars. Like I think everyone would love a Kyoshi statue these days. I think that would do exceptionally well for any company who's more in line with the fandom. Kyoshi merchandise these days I think would do really, really well. So I think like the first company to put out a good looking Kyoshi figure or statue, I think will do quite well with that. Just in line with what the fandom kind of expectations are. But yeah, this is coming out 2024. I think the article says the pre-orders open Friday July 21st. So it's not currently available for pre-order, but it will be in the next couple of days. So do keep that in mind. Now, Comic-Con. Like I said, it's kind of preview day today, not much happening. Thursday is when we're properly going to kick off. But there is a little bit of a weird sense going into this Comic-Con. With the actor strikes, the writer strikes, there's immediately, I think, that sense of the giant news you typically expect from Comic-Con isn't really expected this year necessarily. I think the focus with this Comic-Con is very much on the comics, on publishing, rather than what has more typically been the case of like the big franchise stuff like movies like Marvel and stuff like that. That doesn't seem to be happening this year with all the strikes and a lot of the bigger companies kind of not actually attending this year. So it does put a lot of kind of pressure on kind of some of this stuff, and it means like, yeah, we're probably not expecting big news from like Avatar Studios, but on Thursday, July 20th, 1 to 2 p.m, we do have the Braving the Elements live panel. So this is the podcast panel, apparently hosted by Janet Varney and Dante Bosco. I say apparently because 7 Books a Pop mentioned this on Twitter. They apparently are meant to have a signing with Dante Bosco, but he, along with some other actors, are now no longer going to be able to attend San Diego Comic-Con. Now, it's not just they won't attend the signing or do the signing; they are not attending the con anymore. So that puts him out of this panel, basically, unless he's kind of like going in by video or doing something like Janet Varney did last year. Because again, she wasn't at the panel last year. Yeah, she sent in a video. So is it just going to be Janet Varney hosting whoever is there? It's going to be an interesting one, because the expectation would be that they mostly have actors there. But I don't think there are that many Avatar actors actually attending the convention, especially kind of like anymore with the strikes and stuff like that going on. So I don't know. I'm not sure when we're going to hear about like if they might kind of cancel panels or not. But it probably just means there's not a lot of like particular excitement about this panel. There's always the chance they deliver some piece of news, in that, like I said, going in, like if they can say something last year, why can't they say something this year, even if it is very, very, very small, just to mention it? But with the other factors at play here, it's probably not super likely this year. Beyond that, this is probably the panel where we do expect news to actually come from here. There's no restrictions, I think, really on this one. So Saturday, July 22nd, 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. is the Avatar Legacy Publishing panel. So, you know, Abrams Books, Dark Horse, Nickelodeon, and Magpie are going to be here at this one. FCE is the only announced guest so far, along with Cara O'Neill from Dark Horse as the moderator. So with this one, the absolute bare minimum here is Dark Horse need to announce the first of the new Korra comic trilogy, the Mako comic that they told us about. So I think we need to see a cover, a rough idea of a release date, and honestly, probably at this point, maybe even a preview page along the lines of the initial Azula preview pages that we saw. Other than that, like, I'm wondering, will they reveal Azula preview pages properly here, like in color here, given that, like, you know, I have a review copy of it, other people have review copies, that stuff has happened, the book is done. So will they kind of publicly say all that stuff? I assume they'll mention that again. But then, like, Beasts of the Four Nations, will they be saying what's next after Azula in the Spirit Temple? There's a bare minimum of what I think they need to do here, but it would be nice to see them go beyond that and say fully what's happening next. With Abrams, of course, you know, they have the hype around Legacy of Yangchen having literally just come out. So by the time this panel happens, it'll be, what, 4 days post-release. But interestingly, the book, the acknowledgement at the end of the book, seems to suggest it may be FCE's last Avatar novel. Either he's taking a break or he's just, like, done. I'm wondering, will they announce what's next? Because I'd be very surprised if they finished up Chronicles of the Avatar with just the 4 books. I think there's absolutely room to do more, and they should do more. It's just, like, do they have any of that stuff organized and prepared? And is this the place to announce that? Or is it going to be another kind of build up to the next kind of Avatar, like we had a year break in between the Kyoshi and the Yangchen books? So that's the main thing, I think, for Abrams. Like, yeah, they have the calendar and the 4-book set to mention for more of a kind of promotional side of things. But in terms of big news, everyone wants to know what's next for it, especially because it is going to be a different Avatar if they do it again. It would be a cool announcement to put that out there, whether it be it's a Roku series of books, whether it be like a Zito Karuk series of books, or someone else. Like, might there be a chance to pick up on one of the avatars who gets named in the FCE books, but we don't get the exploration on? So the likes of, you know, Salai, Avatar Gun, those type of characters, will they get the exploration in a future book? We just don't know. Nickelodeon, like I said, I think this is here mainly for the sort of like I Am Aang kind of smaller level books, the ones that don't get people as excited. But there's always the chance that there might be some sort of a thing, like maybe they might announce some new interesting books more directly coming from Nickelodeon. Could be interesting. And then Magpie Games, of course, we are still waiting for the PDFs to go out for the Republic City book. That is meant to happen this month, and we're quickly running out of days in the month. So, especially when we get to the panel, like there's only about a week left in the month to get that stuff out there. So, will it be out at that time? Will they try and do some sort of a thing where the PDF release kind of coincides with the panel? But I think there's also a little bit of an expectation about, are they going to talk about what's next? So, the Spirit World book, will they tease that here? Will they say, is there, are they working on other new stuff beyond just the initially announced stuff? Like a new era would be a very cool thing to announce for Magpie. But, you know, there is absolutely some strong possibilities of news to come out of this, especially because I think in the last 2 years, there has been a little bit more of a, oh, they actually can talk about news at these panels in the last year. So hopefully it's mainly on Dark Horse. Dark Horse need to deliver with stuff like Beast of the Four Nations, finally announcing the Korra comic, which I think is the bare minimum again. But other than that, I think, you know, it should be okay. There is also the Avatar Legacy signing, which is basically just like immediately after the panel at 2. And yeah, it is just FCE, which I don't know really what that suggests. Like, might they actually not really have anyone else for the panel here? It's going to be interesting to see, like, is it literally just like a 2 or 3 person panel? Because otherwise the expectation probably is that, like, you have FCE, Cara O'Neill, and then I'm guessing you might have like publicist kind of PR people from like maybe some of the other companies there to fill out the panel lineup, but we'll see what happens. And then, yeah, I'll wrap it up with just some Avatar Generations news. So there was a 1.1.2 patch. Now, this is not a kind of feature update patch. This was just a bug fix patch. But they have teased the kind of further banner schedule. So the one that went live yesterday, basically today, was the Warden. So that's the prison warden from Imprisoned. He is now live in the game, 120 pity. I'm skipping him. He feels like you need him probably if you want to do the ultimate combo with the brothers, the Goro and Juro. If you don't plan to do that, I'm not sure he's necessarily the most amazing character. If not just for the name recognition point of view, I don't really find him super interesting. This one here, the limited support banner, beginning on the 26th of July. This is going to be for General Old Iron as a support. So this is the kind of animal/spirit support. Old Iron is coming here. I think he's also going to bring with him a new set of arts that is basically like the Old Iron arts. basically kind of like his armor type stuff. And I think this banner will also be kind of like quote unquote like rate up for higher level supports as well. So there might be some value to summoning on this one, even if there's no character associated with this one. But then this is brand new here. Peace Chaos banner for the 2nd of August. My understanding at the moment is that this might be Ronin Zuko. So this is a Book 2 Zuko, kind of basically a mix of special and fire. Basically fire swordsman kind of Zuko. Think fight at the end of Zuko alone, I think, is the idea with this specific Zuko. Now, I think in the data of the game currently, there is some stuff about like a different Iroh from around this same kind of area of the story. We're also, I think, beginning to get information about like Mei's unit in the game, and we of course know that the likes of Azula and Ty Lee are on the way, and pretty much all of them I think are expected to be like Peace Chaos. So just keep in mind that there's going to be a couple of Peace Chaos events in a row where there will probably be huge highlight characters that a lot of fans are going to want. You are just going to have to plan out your tickets perfectly. Your Peace Chaos tickets, which are rarer than the normal ones, and of course your Nature Stones, which you should always be saving for the Peace Chaos banners, in my opinion. So I think the expectation is probably that like Iroh Zuko is maybe up first, Peace Chaos. Then it probably will be the Ozai's Angels, kind of like Mei, Azula, Ty Lee stuff. But again, this is kind of talking like ahead before they fully locked it all in place, kind of data mine style stuff. But just do keep in mind that. So when you see a banner pop up and it's a kind of Peace Chaos like other characters, know that probably in September, that's when the like Azula and Mei characters that you really want are coming. So you may want to unfortunately skip over the brand new Zuko, but Zuko has so many units in the game already. Yes, he I think functions kind of quite interestingly, but if you really want an Azula, you're probably best waiting there. Otherwise, you might have to spend quite a bit of money on tickets to make up for you having spent them all kind of like the month before. Because it can take a while to build up Peace Chaos tickets, definitely. Other than that, yeah, the stuff in the game currently is, of course, the powerful opponent banner, which is for both Goro and Juro. So it is Peace Chaos in a powerful opponent, which confirms to us that powerful opponent literally is just for game original characters. The idea of like what type of unit they are doesn't seem to matter here. It is just that because they are game original characters, they are considered powerful opponent, and so Goro and Juro are available. They have a specific relic as well. So that's all cool. And again, I think the combo between these two is very nice. So if you have powerful opponent tickets, absolutely go ahead with them, because the expectation, I think, as we go forward is that I think future powerful opponent banners are going to be like stuff related to like the Dojo Master. I think Xin Ming, who from like the early game, I think she is becoming a unit at some point, and she'll be powerful opponent. So these might be kind of units you actually want now. And especially with the new kind of system they have in place, where like if you pull a character, you get like a coin that is effectively worth like a half or a third of another copy of the character. It's kind of an interesting way to do the kind of pity protection in a way. They're in here. Obviously, the more recent one was the Warden one. This is where like I have a little bit of an issue with this one, because it's 120 pity. So it's the same type of banner as like say the Yoon banner or the Tagaka banner from the Kyoshi update, but I think it's with a much less interesting and a far further down the list character in terms of importance. I think they should have a little bit more of a sense to adjust the pity rate depending on the kind of importance of the character. So someone like the Warden, I don't think should be 120 pity. I think it should be a little bit lower, just because of the kind of quality of character that he is. Obviously, as a unit, I guess he has like some really nice kind of stuff going for him with his abilities, but I think they should adjust some of that stuff a little bit. Also with this, there is the Prisoner Tyro character is in the event shop. So he is probably one of the easiest ways to get a 6 out of 6 skill level character, because you can buy 6 copies of him in the event shop for just, I think it's 12 burning coal event currency, which you've been collecting the entire imprisoned event, and you can continue to collect right now. So for just 12, you can get yourself pretty much a fully maxed out character. Now, do I think the prisoner Tyro is that amazing? He's a very defense orientated unit, but if you are struggling with your skill level of your characters being low, this is an example of a relatively free to get kind of maxed out character. Again, you still have to do the mastery level upgrades by going through all the stuff, but the skill coin aspect of it is sorted with him. So that's just a bit of an update on Generations and kind of what's kind of coming into the game. With, again, what they said in the last live stream was that I think there's meant to be 2 more Aang updates, I think, and then it will be the next Kyoshi timeline update. So I think one of them is meant to be the kind of next stage of the Dojo Master story. So that will be more of a kind of a unique kind of event. They're being a little bit more secretive about what the one after that I think is planned to be. I might have the order of those 2 reversed, and then I think it's planned to be the part 2 of the Kyoshi stuff, as a rough idea. But I'm pretty sure they probably should be getting ready to do their next live stream at some point soon. So I guess we'll find out more details about the exact plan of that stuff as we get forward, as we go on, because the anniversary for the kind of early access launch of the game is coming up, and I think they have some big stuff planned there. So exciting times for the game if you continue to play it. But yeah, that has been the video. So let me know what your thoughts are on all of this stuff. New Iroh statue, the Diamond Select one, the Diorama. And then what are your expectations for Comic-Con now that we seem to have a better sense of what's happening here? Dante Bosco not being able to attend and stuff like that. But let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.